Hello and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager 3 stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me as always is FHM producer Jeff, who's pictured on your screen.
Hey everybody.
And we are back with a 1972-73 LA Kings.
Yeah, after our slightly unsuccessful playoff run last year, we are, I think...
the loss of Gordie Howe.
Yeah, Gordie Howe retired in the offseason, unfortunately, after we traded for him a couple of years before, but I think we're still in relatively good shape because we've finally had some of our younger guys developing. Hedberg is up to 2.5 stars now. Terry O'Reilly, I think, made 2.5. Willie Lindstrom, finally 2.5. So, I mean, we're pretty solid all the way through. We did...
Also good since we got 2 new expansion teams and the WHA in the game now.
Yeah, I was just going to show that our reserve list has been stripped down quite a bit from what it was before. These are our minor league guys. And we've got a couple of guys with decent potential that will get there, although Dennis Kearns is taking his sweet time about developing into a good defenseman. He's still only at 2 stars. We've had him there, I think, right since the very beginning. Dan LeBreton hasn't really come along yet, and other than that, it's pretty much a cast-off collection. One thing I can do is look at the protected list, and you can see here how many guys, if I sort by who they're contracted to, how many guys that we own the rights to have wound up in the WHA. We got 4 there, and another, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so a dozen guys total that we own the rights to are now playing the WHA this year.
Well, there was also several guys, or several top draft picks, not including ours, first rounders who went to the WHA instead. Yeah,
although we did actually lose Jack McElhargy. I think was our draft pick. Was it 72? Yeah, we got him. We picked him at 109, but the New York Raiders picked him too, and he wound up signing with them because I don't think we gave him a contract offer soon enough, or either that was a little low. But anyhow, we're through the exhibition season, so we're just about ready to start up the regular season. Pretty happy with the... I think we're going to stay with the strategy we've got. Shiro system collapsing to the net, that worked well for us last year, and we're finally getting the tough guys that will fit in a little better with the Shiro system. O'Reilly's developing. Who else we got? Battleship Kelly's there. Dave Maloney, or Dan Maloney rather, and Keith Magnuson and Steve Durbano, who's developed really quickly in the last season or so. We picked him up. He hasn't played for us yet, but in the off season he turned into a 3-star guy. So he's going to be a guy who would be good for 350 or so penalty minutes if we play him for the whole season. So we should see some fun numbers there. I think we're starting to get into the period where it's the penalties will be going way up. Lineup. Let's see what let me see if we got the right guys dressed first. Mike Christie's a spare defenseman, and Kelly and Lindstrom sitting out. We're still only dressing 11 forwards now. We haven't gotten the 18. I think the 18th skater comes in is it 81? So we've still got a few years left to play in the 17. So the third line will be one guy short. Fourth line, rather, yeah. And Billy Harris, our first draft pick. It's actually a pretty solid fourth line. Harris and Sanderson, and the third line guy, the other 3 left wings will occasionally shuffle into that. Normally I'd take their ice time down a little bit when there's only 2 guys on it, but I'm going to leave that fairly high, and we'll probably get Hick, Maloney, and Barry playing a little extra on that line. Other than that, yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this setup. How's the power play looking? Yeah, Leach definitely on the top line. That makes sense. We'll try and like to get Harris, the rookie, a little time in here, but I don't see an obvious spot to put him because we're so loaded at right wing.
Well, I'm sure at some point we'll get some injuries.
Aren't you optimistic?
I am just honest.
Okay, and I'm just going to fiddle with the goalie starts a little bit because I think we want to get into Gilles Melange playing a little bit and see if he can develop a little faster. Because Cheevers is 31 and he's not getting any younger. He's probably got a few years left, but I have to start thinking about what's going to happen in the late 70s, early 80s. So I'm going to bump the backup start frequency up a bit. And got a question in chat here?
Yes. Yeah, so Lacos1234 in the chat says, I'm am sure it's a rule I don't understand, but there are times when I am trying to offer a contract to someone and I am well under the cap, but I'm unable to offer him what he's asking for. Usually a guy asking for $850K to 1 mil.
It's not, what sort of a message are you getting when you try to make the offer? You may be under your team budget, or maybe over your team budget, but still under the cap, depending on who you're playing with.
It could also be that he's up to, right? Correct?
Say again, you cut out there?
He could be over the cap for next season.
That's a possibility, yeah. Yeah. If the guy's on, if you're looking to sign the guy for a multi-year deal, and you've got contracts that you've already signed a few guys to extensions. That's good.
Our game is that my player will always clear waivers. Not that I'm complaining. Well, I think you're pretty lucky then, because I definitely have not had that myself.
Yeah, a lot of it will depend on how full the league rosters are at the time too. If you played for a few seasons, the teams tend to head towards everybody having 50 contracts, which makes it a little harder to make waiver claims. Yeah, see, we're right back to the start of the season, so I mean, what were we doing? We were just on the trade screen. All I did was change it to Boston. See, it works fine there. So why is it known? This is bizarre. Okay, let's just basically send the first half of the season and get back up to where we were.
All right.
And now we got to go back and do those contracts. I'll just run through those really quickly, and at the beginning of the new year. We're actually winning a little bit more this way, at least.
Interesting.
And I normally turn the save option to the lowest frequency when I'm doing the stream, so it's not constantly popping up and interrupting things. Oops. Oh great, now we got hit with injuries, but I think I better swap that down to, well, at least we'll go to monthly so we don't lose the entire season's progress.
Guru Creative says, I'm around 2040. We're in the 2040s. That's very impressive, Guru. But then I have to ask you a question. Have the Winnipeg Jets won a Stanley Cup? And have you ever beaten the Toronto Maple Leafs? Because apparently that's something we still can't do.
We occasionally do. We just can't, beat them in a playoff series, apparently. And see, it's all these little day-to-day injuries. Nothing that's longer term. Oh, McAneely's shoulder's messed up, and so he's going to be out indefinitely for quite a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need one more defenseman. Bring Gilles Marat back up. But yeah, still hovering around 500. I don't know. I'm surprised by this. We were a lot better. The lineup looked a lot better relative to the rest of the league than it did
last year.
And we did really well last year.
We're just really missing Gordie Howe, apparently.
Yeah, could be. Minor deal with the Stars and Canucks. Frank Mahovlich gets his 500th NHL goal. And there's that development report again. At least our... Oh yeah, I didn't leave Magnuson out of the lineup for an extended period, so his development isn't going downhill like it was. Urbano's got a minor thing. Solomon comes in. How did Kelly get in there instead ahead of Barry? And take Lindstrom out before he can go 2 points in 32 games again. Yeah, that looks about right. Defense is kind of a patchwork at the moment. End of this month, and I'll quickly re-sign all those guys. And you're going to get the save message every month or so now as we do this, just so we don't want to lose the whole season again. Wondering if it's a graphics driver thing. I haven't updated recently, but still relatively up to date. Shouldn't have done anything there. Another development report. Oh yeah, there we go. Magnuson did go down. And Murad, who we called up, gets... Wow, he'd actually be playing really well. 14 points in 24 games. Just a minor thing. Now contracts. Very quickly doing those.
Dylan88 Jr. in the chat says, I've learned one thing playing this. Pick up Matt Murray from Pittsburgh if you can.
No, we did that, and yeah.
In the Red Wings game, but we're still terrible. And just about getting fired.
Okay, that's not good. Dave Burrows is telling us he wants to test the market, so that means he's going to be looking for a WHA offer in the off-season. So we may lose Burrows there unless he has a change of heart in the summer, and we can talk him into signing for a deal in June. And get through the week, and all those guys should sign. But yeah, at least we're a little bit above 500 now. Let's see if Atlanta's doing... let me check the news first. Looks like Pittsburgh fired their coach. And then minor deal with Montreal and California. Yeah, see Atlanta 1915 there. They're still, well, they're closer to us in this one, but they're still ahead of us. And Minnesota is pretty terrible. Yeah, see the Islanders a little farther back. Vancouver not doing too bad, actually. And just out of curiosity, see how the WHA is shaping up in the first year. Your Jets are second in the West Division.
As they should be.
And just waiting for the stats. Wayne Merrick. For some reason, he always seems to sign with the WHA in most of the games I play. I'm not sure how that works out. Leading, wow, big lead, 85 points in only about 40 or 50 games. Wow. Not a lot of big stars in the WHA at this point. They didn't really get the Hulls and Hows that they did in real life. Just waiting for the goalie leaders to come up. Yeah, Michel Larocque leading the league in wins. Yeah, not really any big names in goal either. Okay, back to us. And just so we can get at least a season in, I didn't want to rush ahead in this game, but thanks to those crashes, we're going to have to. And California locking up Rogie Vachon long term. Not surprising. See, it's going to be funny in this game because California is actually turning into one of the better teams in the league, but they're going to wind up moving to Cleveland anyhow and folding at the end of the 70s.
Oh, Cleveland.
Oh, we finally passed Atlanta. They're heading downhill, and we're clinging to fourth in the West. Oh, we've had some injury trouble this year too. Maloney, short-term one. Catola, also short-term. And how's McAneely coming along? Still 1 or 2 months away, so that's pretty much ruined his season. And trading deadline is March the 5th, so I'll just get this to March the 1st, and then we'll see if we can make a move, have a look at who's on the trading block around the league, because I don't think we have any really obvious needs other than maybe a little bit of depth on left wing. And we don't have a lot to trade either. We've got a couple of extra defensemen really, but we've had so many injuries this year that I'm a little hesitant to trade away too much there. And development report, nothing too surprising. Leach coming along, that's good news. Don't see any big changes in star ratings. Looks like Cheevers has gone cold. That isn't a really good sign. I'd like to see a little more development out of Milosh at some point. But let's see what is available for trades. Oh wow, not much. There's only not even a full page, you guys. Harry Howell from the Canucks, who's 40 years old, and there's nobody better than 1.5 stars in the trading block. You getting on yours too, Adam?
I'm trying to get there, but I just got rattled by injuries. And I had 5 guys go on long-term IR.
Wow. Both games going like that.
This one had, Leach got torn rotator cuff. Ernie Hickey got ruptured disc in his back. McNeely tore his biceps.
Wow. Okay, you're even worse off than I am, so I'm not going to complain too much. Okay, nobody really available for trade. I'll just go day by day up to the trading deadline and see if something changes, but...
Trying to head there, okay, really quick.
And a couple of trades leading up to it. Not a particularly big one with the Flyers and Rangers. Another minor one with California and New York. And Ralph Backstrom, the only real name there. So nothing too eventful going on so far trade-wise. So I'm guessing the trading block is still pretty... Well, John McKenzie in Pittsburgh, but he's 35 years old at this point. Do we really need that? And he's only 2.5 stars, so that's not going to really help us any.
All right, let's see. Ooh, there's nobody here in this game.
Yeah, no, Barry's hurt now. It's only day to day. Has anybody developed on the farm team that we can bring up? Oh wow, Steve West started the season at 1 star. He's up to 2.5 now. So time to call him up.
What do we really need? I mean, when you look at a roster, what do we really need?
I'm gonna take a chance on losing Kelly on waivers and send him down. Goalie situation I'm pretty happy with.
Like a left winger? Is that kind of where we're at? We need a good
we've got a 3.5 or even 4-star left wing. We know Burrow. Wait. I think we can solve a problem here. Burrows doesn't want to. Let me make sure he doesn't want to negotiate with us. Yeah, he's talking about heading out to free agency at the end of the season. So maybe we move Dave Burrows, who ironically enough we actually got by trading a forward for and package one of the wings, maybe Ernie Hick, and try to get like at least a 3.5-star winger out of that. See somebody who needs, if there's anybody that needs a left defenseman. Oops.
What's he hurt? Ooh, never mind.
doing here? There we go. Okay, Flames have a weakness at left defense. Well, we traded for Gordie Howe. Should we try getting Bobby Hull now?
Well, I'm just looking here, and I see, in my game at least, Toronto has
Hull's gone downhill.
Greg Polis on left wing, who's 4 stars. And they need a left defenseman.
Okay, yeah, Polis was kind of a funny thing. He was one of Pittsburgh's best players in the first couple of years, but never really seemed to go anywhere, and eventually wound up getting traded to the Rangers and sort of faded out at the end of the 70s, but he was sort of a star for like 2 seasons in Pittsburgh. I think he was the MVP of the All-Star game in 72 or 73. Okay, that's one option. That's the best one I've seen so far. Canucks don't want a defenseman. Penguins. Yeah, nobody's looking for... the Canadians want a right defenseman. Have they got anybody worthwhile on... they got Steve Vickers on left wing. That's another decent option. Well, he's only 21. They're probably not going to be looking to move him. King, or the Stars with a young Rick Martin. Oh, and Steve Shutt. Well, Shutt isn't developing at all. That's kind of surprising. Our old friend, the Red Wings, who don't need a defenseman. Oh, the Hawks have a weakness at left defense.
How about Don Marcotte from Boston?
Possibly. Hawks have Dennis Hull, but he's only 3 stars. The Bruins want left defenseman, eh? Yeah, they want that in this one. And yeah, that isn't a bad idea at all. Marcotte was a really good 2-way player. So in addition to the... that kind of makes up for losing a good defensive defenseman in Marcotte, or Burrows rather. Anybody?
Why don't we throw Kearns into? Not really developing.
Then again, we got to have somebody to fill the hole that Burrows is going to leave. I think I'm going to leave Kearns out of that for now. I think Hick and Burrows is probably a little too much for just Marcotte. So what have the Bruins got that's interesting?
Well, this I got Burrows and a 5th round pick for Marcotte.
Now should I leave Ernie Hick out of it then? I mean, if I make this trade, he's getting pushed down to our 4th line, so he's not going to be doing that much.
Well, if we don't have to get rid of him.
I think we need a chat rule that we're not allowed to talk about the 2011 playoffs.
Oh. Why? What happened in 2011 playoffs? I don't remember.
I have amnesia. I have no idea. Oh, you know who we could get? Alf Nielsen is on the... is he playing much for him? Yeah, he's getting 4th line time with the Bruins, so I'm going to see if we can get him and put him together with Edberg.
I also like that. Did you make that Marcotte deal or no?
Yeah, I mean, that'll be part of the Marcotte deal. Actually, this is going to get bigger because I need to get rid of a center there. I can what if I send Derek Sanderson, who seems to be declining, back to Boston? Burrows, Hicks, Sanderson for Marcotte, Nielsen, and can the Bruins give me a decent... really looking for a prospect defenseman. They don't really have much in that way.
What about under their rights?
Yeah, unsigned guys. Hang on. No, there's just garbage there. Nothing there. 1.5 stars. Wonder if they give me their 1st rounder next year. Nope, they're not going to do that.
Try for a 3rd.
They haven't got a 3rd. They've only got a 2nd and a 4th. Try for the 2nd. Not going to do that either. Say a 4th. Scout says it's well balanced, but that usually tends to mean no. Oh, they got 50 players under contract, so I got to give them, got to take something back from them. They got anybody? No bad players on that.
Maybe Cam Crosby. Might be the guy. Oh wait, that's us. Never mind. Let me try that again. There's 32-year-old Bill LeCain, left winger.
Yeah, half-star guy. See if that is actually on a 2-year deal. Nope, Bruins won a little more than that, so it's that 4th rounder that... I mean, if I take the 4th rounder out entirely, they go for it. That seems like... See if I can just squeeze a little bit more out of them, like a draft pick in a later year, maybe like the 4th rounder in 74. Nope, still don't like that. Okay, let's try it without the pick at all. Still a lot to give up, but I think that's our best chance at a playoff run this year. Yep, they're okay with it. So Burrows, Hick, and Sanderson for Marcotte, Nielsen, and Bill LeCain, whoever Bill LeCain is. So there is our big trading deadline deal for this year. Okay, now of course going down to the farm team. And okay, if I leave it like this, who does I want to dress? Don't really want to sit Bill White. Take out Kearns, put White in. Barry is injured for the time being. The rest of that looks okay. And yeah, it throws Marcotte right onto the first line with Sharon and Leach, which yeah, and yeah, well, it actually put Hedberg and Nielsen together.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm not going to touch that. Okay, we'll go with that. Go with that then and play through the end of March. Oh, we got too many guys, so I thought I sent LeCain down. Oh, we forgot we got rid of Ernie Hicks, so we're missing an alternate captain. We need to name a new assistant captain. Quick look at the mental ratings. Oh, actually, Marcotte, even though he's new to the team, seems like the best candidate there. I think he was Bruins alternate in the 70s for a while, too, so... Oops, Barry was assistant one. Okay, that should be that. Oh, quite a few deals here. Rutherford and Dory getting swapped between Pittsburgh and or Philadelphia and Toronto. Flyers and Leafs doing a whole bunch of stuff. None small, none as big as that one. Atlanta and Buffalo. Oh wow! Toronto traded Frank Mahovlich to Detroit for a 22-year-old Finnish guy.
That's an odd choice.
I mean, by this point, Mahovlich was mostly done. I think he had one good little run with Montreal in like 73 or 74. But then he went to the WHA right after that. Oh, and do any of these new guys, speaking of the WHA, let's make sure the new guys are under contract. Marcotte has 2 years left to run, Nielsen has 3, so not a problem there. And we solved our Burrows thing. So, okay, get through the end of March. Still hovering not too far above 500. Although we're going on a little bit of a tear here, I see.
Well, we're going to have it at some point.
And then immediately start losing again. Okay. And Barry is healthy, but had been sitting out. Need to probably bench Lindstrom and put him in. The rest of that looks okay. Standings wise, okay, we're still clinging to 4th place. Fortunately, got a pretty good gap there between us and the Flames. So when is the end of the regular season? Oh, we're almost to it. Wow, how many games have we played? Oh, 7. We are at 78 games. I didn't realize we were almost done.
Well, our time is too, so good timing, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we'll be doing the playoffs next week. This one was kind of a train wreck of a season between the crashes and the injuries and the team not playing particularly well. So it looks like we do make the playoffs. And Ted McAneely, fortunately, is healthy just in time. Unlike Gordie Howe last year, who was 1 day away from us to the playoffs. Wow, do we have some guys decline here? Our defense seems to have lost a few points here and there. Okay, so playoff series. We get the Blues in the first round. First place team in the West Division, I think. Wow, they've had a really good season. They were first overall in the league, too. Where'd they come from? They hadn't done that well in the previous years. Tony Esposito on goal. That explains some of that. Tardif, McLeish. Yeah, some decent depth there, but not what I'd call a ton of big names. They just seem to really put together, and Esposito must have had a heck of a year. Okay numbers. He improved by about a full goal from his goals against average last year. Pretty good character guys, two-way guys, and some, Tardif and Lacroix, a couple of big WHA scorers. And speaking of that, let's see how the WHA turned out, at least for the regular season. And your Jets finished second to the Alberta Oilers in the Western Conference. Oilers went 64-9. And Stan Weir with 157 points for the Oilers. You can see that the first couple of seasons, the WHA is pretty much a glorified minor league. Seen lots of guys here basically.
With you, but
I mean, they didn't get any of the big free agent signings like the Hull and the Howes and Cheevers and McKenzie that they did in real life. My God, oh, that's Cleveland Crusaders with the lovely pink-purple uniform. And let's just have a look at how the NHL leaders shaped up since we're almost out of time. And penalty minute leaders not really headed for. You can see Dave Schultz in there, so you know the big penalty minutes are coming at some point. Perot and Clark in California, and you see, yeah, there we see we're talking about Phil Esposito, led the league in points, but for the Hawks, not for the Bruins. And Bill Barber with a 50-goal season as a rookie in Atlanta. And I do not see any Kings anywhere on this list. Oh, there we go. Reggie Leach tied for, I guess that's 4th overall in power play goals, even though he's showing up 7th on the list. And goalies. Cheever 7th overall in wins. Didn't get many shutouts apparently. And in the top 10 for goals against average, so not too bad there. And very quick look at how our whole team did. I think that's Leach's best season so far. Yeah, he's up from 35 points last year to 81 this year. That first line time paid off for him. Marcotte played pretty well for us down the stretch. Hedberg's starting to develop. Oh, no, Nielsen didn't do too much there. Durbano in his rookie year, only 93 penalty minutes. It's a little surprising. Turned out to be a little less of a goon than he did in real life.
He might get there.
And Melosh's numbers improving, even if his ratings haven't taken off yet. So I think I'm going to wind it up there, and we will start. Are we on a? Yeah, just leave it there, and we will start with the playoffs in 2 weeks. And we got a tough series against the best team in the league, but maybe we can pull this off and get our first cup.
All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. If you're watching this, then you're probably watching it on our Facebook or on our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/OOTP Developments, where you can find archives of every single video we've ever done. If you want to talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, you can reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Franchise Hockey Manager. On Twitter, we are at Franchise Hockey. And you can come to our official website if you want to talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, Out of the Park Baseball, or MLB Manager. And that is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right-hand corner, which will take you to our official forums. Jeff, did I miss anything?
Well, just one thing. I remember we were making fun of the Canucks for drafting Dave Gardner in the first round last year. He put up a 95.4 season for him this year. Not exactly sure how that happened, but somehow they're making the draft picks work. But no, I think that's pretty much it. We will hopefully be having some FHM4 news for you guys fairly soon. I'm hard at work on that right now and getting closer and closer to where we can start sharing a few things with you. So hang in there, and we will be sharing some of that with you in fairly short order. So we will see you guys in a couple of, or next week, back with the Modern Red Wings, and then back to this in a couple of weeks to see how this playoff series turns out.